Imagine a world without night, not a world without darkness, but a world where our minds never need to shut down. Imagine having an extra 8 hours every single day. What would you do with that time? You could learn a new language, master a musical instrument, or even start a second career. Our lives would instantly gain a full third of their current length. The concept seems like a dream come true, a superpower gifted to all of humanity. We would become a species that never stops, never pauses, and never needs to close its eyes to the world around it. The possibilities feel endless, a boundless ocean of time stretching before us. This new reality would transform our cities and our homes. Lights would blaze all through the night, not just in city centers, but in every suburban street and quiet neighborhood. Businesses would operate around the clock, not with different shifts, but with the same workers continuing their day. The quiet hum of the early morning hours would be replaced by the constant energy of human activity. Playgrounds might be filled with the laughter of children under artificial lights at 3 a.m. The rhythm of life, the familiar cycle of day and night, would be completely rewritten. We would no longer be creatures of the sun, but beings of constant, unrelenting wakefulness. Think of the explosion in creativity and productivity. Scientists could run experiments without interruption, making discoveries at an incredible pace. Artists could work on their masterpieces without the need to pause for rest, following their inspiration whenever it strikes. The world's economies would skyrocket, fueled by a workforce that is always on, always producing, always innovating. Projects that once took years might be completed in months. The collective intellectual and creative output of our species would be unlike anything we have ever seen in history. It would be a new renaissance, a golden age of human achievement powered by perpetual wakefulness. However, this gift of time would come with a hidden cost. The quiet moments of reflection that come just before sleep would vanish. The shared, silent intimacy of a household settling down for the night would become a relic of the past. Our minds would be a constant stream of thoughts, information, and stimulation with no off switch. Would we lose our ability to dream, to wander through the strange and wonderful landscapes of our subconscious? This endless day might offer us more time to do, but would it rob us of the essential time to simply be? The promise of more life might actually lead to a less profound existence. Why do we sleep in the first place? It might seem like a waste of time, a strange glitch in our biology. But science tells us a very different story. Sleep is not a state of inactivity. It is a vital and highly active process. It is the brain's most important maintenance period. While you are asleep, your brain is hard at work. It is like a dedicated cleaning crew that comes in after a busy day. This crew washes away harmful toxins that build up in your brain while you are awake. One of these toxins is called beta amyloid, which is famously linked to Alzheimer's disease. Sleep is the brain's power wash. During sleep, your brain also works as a masterful organizer. It sorts through the memories and experiences of the day. It decides what is important to keep and what can be discarded. This process is crucial for learning. When you learn a new skill, whether it's playing the piano or studying for a test, sleep helps to solidify that information in your memory. It is like moving files from a temporary folder to a permanent hard drive. Without sleep, our ability to learn and remember new things would be severely damaged. We would be stuck in a state of constant forgetfulness, unable to build on our experiences. Furthermore, sleep is essential for our emotional health. The part of our brain responsible for rational thought, the prefrontal cortex, gets a much-needed rest during sleep. At the same time, the emotional centers of the brain are recalibrated. This nightly reset helps us to manage our moods and react to situations with a clear and level head. When we are sleep deprived, we become more irritable, anxious, and emotionally unstable. Sleep acts as an overnight therapist, helping us to process the emotional challenges of the day. It is the foundation upon which our mental stability is built, a nightly reset for our emotional circuits. So, sleep is not a passive state, but a critical function for our survival and well-being. It cleans our brain, strengthens our memories, and regulates our emotions. It is a fundamental biological necessity, as important as breathing, eating, or drinking water. To imagine a world where we never sleep is to imagine a world where our brains are never cleaned, our memories are never saved, and our emotions are never balanced. The idea of a sleepless existence, which at first seems so appealing, begins to look less like a gift and more like a curse. It is a biological process we cannot afford to lose. If our brains suffer without sleep, our bodies would fare no better. Sleep is not just for the mind. It is a time of intense physical repair and restoration. While we are in deep sleep, our bodies release growth hormone. This hormone is vital for repairing tissues, building muscle, and healing from the wear and tear of the day. For children and teenagers, it is essential for their growth and development. For adults, it is our body's primary repair kit. Without this nightly restoration process, our bodies would start to break down. Minor injuries would take longer to heal, and we would be in a constant state of physical exhaustion. Our immune system also relies heavily on sleep. During sleep, your body produces proteins called cytokines, some of which help to fight infection and inflammation. Think of sleep as the time when your immune system manufactures its soldiers and weapons. If you take away sleep, you take away this critical production time. A sleepless population would be incredibly vulnerable to illnesses. The common cold could become a serious threat, and our ability to fight off more dangerous viruses and bacteria would be dangerously weakened. We would be living in a state of constant immune deficiency, making us susceptible to every germ we encounter. The consequences for our metabolic health would be equally severe. Lack of sleep disrupts the balance of key hormones that control our appetite. The hormone that makes you feel hungry, ghrelin, goes up. The hormone that makes you feel full, leptin, goes down. As a result, a sleepless person would feel constantly hungry, especially for high sugar and high fat foods. This would lead to a global epidemic of obesity and type 2 diabetes. Sleep is a key regulator of our body's energy balance. Without it, our metabolism would spiral out of control, leading to widespread chronic disease and poor health. Even our cardiovascular system would be at risk. Sleep helps to regulate blood pressure and reduce strain on the heart. During non-REM sleep, our heart rate and blood pressure drop, giving our heart and blood vessels a chance to rest and recover. Without this nightly break, our cardiovascular system would be under constant stress. This would dramatically increase the risk of high blood pressure, heart attacks, and strokes across the entire population. A sleepless life would not be a longer life. It would likely be a much shorter and sicker one, as our bodies slowly crumble from the inside out without rest. The fabric of our society would be rewoven in strange and unpredictable ways in a world without sleep. The 24-hour economy would become the norm. The concept of a workday would become meaningless. People might work for 12 hours, take a 6-hour break for leisure, and then return to work. This would create a relentless culture of productivity, where the pressure to be constantly achieving would be immense. The line between work and personal life, already blurry, would completely dissolve. Would we become cogs in a machine that never stops turning, our value measured only by our output in this new, endless day? Our social structures and relationships would also undergo a radical transformation. Family dinners might be replaced by staggered meals as individuals follow their own unique schedules. The shared experience of a quiet evening at home would be a thing of the past. Would this constant activity lead to more social connection, or would it lead to more isolation? With endless time for activities, we might fill our lives with so much doing that we forget how to connect on a deeper level. The quiet, shared vulnerability of preparing for sleep is a bonding experience we might not appreciate until it is gone forever. The arts and entertainment would flourish in new ways. Concerts could happen at dawn, museums could be open all night, and new forms of entertainment would be created to fill the extra hours. But our culture might also become more frantic and superficial. Would we have the mental space for deep, contemplative art? Or would we crave constant, high-energy stimulation? The quiet solitude that often gives rise to profound creative thought would be a rare commodity. Our culture could become louder, faster, and perhaps less meaningful, reflecting minds that are always on and never at rest. Finally, we must ask a fundamental question about our humanity. Sleep, with its mysterious world of dreams, connects us to something beyond our rational, waking minds. It is a source of inspiration, a place where our fears and desires play out in symbolic form. What would happen to the human spirit if we were forever tethered to the conscious world? Would we evolve into something different, a new type of human who is more efficient and productive, but perhaps less imaginative, less empathetic, and less in touch with the deeper mysteries of existence? Is a life without sleep truly a more complete life?